I have a confession to make, chat. A few days ago, I survived a full watch-through of Morbius. We did a watch party of it in my Discord. Many of you might have been there. A lot of us morbed out pretty hard. Many didn't survive. Many of those people that were in that watch party are still in there, sitting there. Their bodies still desiccating in their computer chairs. They died from morb overdose a long time ago. I survived, though. I survived the morb overdose, and I'm going to go ahead and review Morbius. I'm going to go ahead and cut through all of the irony and memes now, and I'm going to be serious from this point onward. It is a horrible fucking movie. I'm going to be real. I always found that when a movie, especially superhero movies, get like hyped up as being super bad, that it's always disappointingly bad. Like I expect it to be way worse than it ends up being because everyone talks up how bad it's going to be. And, I thought that like there's no way this movie is going to be as bad as everybody says it is. And as, like a movie has to be pretty fucking bad for people to ironically pretend it's good, I didn't believe. All right, I didn't believe it could be as bad as people were saying it was. So we did a watch party of it. We had a nice HD copy, did a nice watch party, and the concept and the premise isn't too bad. But we should start by saying that like one of the biggest things that influences why Morbius isn't very positively received, at least in my opinion, is the lead actor being Jared Leto. He's kind of a massive piece of shit and like a cult owner. Like he's literally a cult leader. He literally has like a private island where people can pay to get his insignia tattooed on them and then sleep in his bed. And he's got this giant bed. He has a literal sex cult that people can pay to get into. And they like have like weird mind control brainwashing shit. It's really weird stuff. Jared Leto's a massive fucking creep, and personally, I've never been very impressed by his acting skills. So the fact that Jared Leto was playing the main character in this movie alone already just had me rolling my eyes at every scene where the movie wanted me to care about Morbius. That's the thing. Like, I can't care about Morbius because I hate Jared Leto so much that all I can think about is, oh my god, Jared Leto is such a piece of shit. I hate this guy. So I just can't sit and enjoy this character as Morbius because I see him as Jared Leto. But I assure you that is not why I hated the movie so much and why it is so bad. Even setting aside the casting decision, there is some good casting in the movie. The main villain is the best doctor from Doctor Who, played by Matt Smith. He is, he plays Milo in this movie, and he's all right. He's pretty good in the movie. He does a decent job of lightening it up, but like, good lord, is just the movie poorly written. I don't even know where to start. I feel like I should like chronologically retell the story of the movie and complain about things as we go. I don't know if I should just complain about the fucking horrible, crazy shit. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna ramble. Because I'm morbed out, and after you post morb out, you can only ramble. It's all you can do. So, post morb clarity. So, I shit you not. This movie doesn't have an ending. Like, there's nothing I can say that will get across to you how abrupt and sudden the ending of the movie is. It's like there's no lead up to it. There's no, like, it just ends. There's no conflict resolution. No, the characters get together and like talk about what's happened at the end and like, oh my god, you beat the bad guy. Oh, it's so good to see you. It literally just, Morbius beats the bad guy, jumps off of a building and starts flying, and the sun is rising, and then his dead girlfriend, who we all knew was alive and was dead for like 2 seconds, opens her eyes and they're red, and then it dramatically cuts. As if we're supposed to be like, whoa, we care so much about these characters. No way. And we really want, it's like, it really expects you to want to give a shit. Like, to give a shit about Morbius 2. Like, and the story. Anything beyond the memes. There's just nothing there other than the movie just cuts to its ending. Then there are I shit you not, 2 post-credit scenes. And these post-credit scenes could have been all the same post-credit scene. One of them is where Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes, a.k.a. the Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming, gets teleported from the MCU into Morbius's Sony Marvel universe. And he's like looking around, he's all confused. He gets out and everything. And then the next post-credit scene is Morbius driving out into a field, and then the Vulture then showing up inexplicably with his whole suit and wings and everything, and saying the worst written lines I've ever seen. Okay, he says, "Let me see if I can directly phrase it." What the Vulture says to Morbius here: "Hey there, stranger. I don't really know why I'm here. I think it had something to do with Spider-Man." And then Morbius just says, "Interesting." And then it cuts. If I remember correctly, that's how it goes. Yeah. So, okay, let me explain the plot of the actual movie now. Dr. Michael Morbius has a rare blood disease that has severely limited his ability to live a happy, healthy life, and has put a drastic limit on his lifespan. At a young age, he meets a fellow orphan at the place he's being taken care of that has a similar condition, or I think the exact same condition, named Milo, that he befriends. And together they end up studying. They study science shit, and completely off-screen, Morbius somehow becomes this brilliant, Nobel Prize denying. He denies the Nobel Peace Prize at the beginning of the movie because he's just such a great guy. Oh my god. He invented this blue artificial blood that people can use, and it's drastically changed the world and everything. And it's a really big deal. And his friend Milo has also somehow become a multi-billionaire. So he's just got an endless amount of money that he can fund for Morbius's experiments with. So basically, Morbius and Milo have been working together for, decades, trying to use Milo's money and Morbius's brains to invent a cure for their extremely rare, non-described blood disease. This leads to the beginning of the movie, where Morbius arrives in a chopper to a big cave in the middle of the jungle somewhere in South America, I would guess, where he draws out a swarm of giant blood-sucking bats that everyone's afraid of, and acts like it's like the fucking things from The Mist, it's so absurd. Anyway, he cuts his hand, and they all get attracted to the blood, and they all fly out of the cave, and they capture some of the bats, and he uses that to, in 5 minutes, develop a serum that, upon taking it, turns him into a vampire. And he needs blood to keep up his ability to not go feral, I guess. And so, to test the final form of the serum, he goes out on international waters in a boat bought and paid for by Milo with a bunch of mercenaries, gets this serum injected inside of his veins, goes full Morbius vampire, and loses his shit, kills all of the crazy mercenaries that try to rape his girlfriend or whatever, and ends up breaking out of there. His girlfriend gets arrested, but there's no evidence she really did anything, so they can't really do anything, I guess. They can't arrest her. And the police, they see what happened. The police immediately assume vampire. It's like a bad Infamous Festival of Blood. Very right, yeah. Very, very bad Infamous Festival of Blood, yeah. The police immediately assume it's a vampire. They immediately say, the blood's drained out. Must have been a vampire. And they immediately start pursuing Morbius as though they're pursuing a vampire. They immediately go on under the full assumption that they're hunting a vampire. It's ridiculous that it could be a vampire. Just must be a vampire. Which, by the way, vampires don't exist in this world, at least in the world of the movie, outside of, Morbius invented this serum that turns you into a vampire. He's the first one that actually exists in that universe of Sony's Marvel, okay? As far as we know. There's a lot of scenes that have to do with the science in the movie, where they just, put some juice into a machine, and then it does some stuff, and then it pops out the thing that they need. And it's okay, I guess. All right, sure. All right, I guess that's how he made the vampire serum. No need to really give an explanation. And then he starts like talking to the bats, and I guess the bats give him, he feels kinship with the bats. And eventually Milo discovers what he's doing. He discovers that he is cured himself with this serum, but that it also has these negative side effects. Milo doesn't care. He wants that serum. So he forcibly takes it and immediately goes on a murder spree doing what vampires do, killing people indiscriminately. Thing is, though, Morbius is the good guy. He's a hero. So he goes after his friend Milo and attempts to fight him in the subway, gets his ass beat, and tries to chase after him again. At this point, some of the movie is like kind of fuzzy to me because I've only seen the movie once and it's been a few days. But eventually we get to the point where Milo captures his girlfriend and kills her. And as she's dying in this final climactic fight, as she's dying, they kiss, and she bites his lip and gets a little bit of his blood in her mouth and like dies. And then he gets up and he fights Milo and he wins. And then after he wins, he jumps off of the rooftop and starts flying. As he's flying, then it cuts to his girlfriend just opening her eyes, and her eyes are red and she's a vampire. And then it cuts to black, and that's the end of the movie. And it's like it's like supposed to be a big hype cliffhanger thing. Like you're supposed to come out of the theater losing your mind is the way that they felt. I can't get across to you the audacity through which they thought that we would be excited to see more. Like, I was begging for this movie to end by the end. I considered dipping out and not watching the rest of the movie and not telling you guys, but I did stick it out and watch all of it. It was so cringy. It was just it was insulting. It was an insulting movie. It was insulting that the movie thought that I gave a shit about any of its characters or anything that it stood for. That's the only way that I can describe how it made me feel. And I very rarely have these extremely strong opinions on media online, but I'm just being completely honest with you. That is what Morbius was, and there's just no sugarcoating it. That is what the movie just was. If you enjoyed the movie, nothing wrong with that. I can definitely see there's a thing or two about it that you could enjoy. We have not seen a AAA high-budget action vampire superhero movie since Blade, and Blade has aged, so I can understand why you might just be hungry for that content alone. Maybe it's just something you enjoyed. Maybe you like it ironically. I don't care. If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. But this movie has been so bad in the eyes of most people that it has had this weird negative cultural significance that is so fucking hilarious. Basically, there was this one tweet a while back when Morbius first released, and it of course was bombing in the box office. Someone said, my favorite part of Morbius was when he said, it's Morbin time, and then morbed all over those guys. People thought that shit was so fucking funny, they retweeted it, quote tweeted it, liked it, and it went viral. Morbing time, it's morbing time, all those variations of the Morbius memes spread around the internet. Morbius sweep, etc. The memes were mostly focused around the idea that Morbius is secretly a really good movie, but everyone that hates it is just a hater, like a CIA plant or like a Fed or whatever. That's what a lot of the memes are based around. But everyone's doing it very ironically, tongue-in-cheek. Everybody knows the movie is awful, the vast majority of people agree on it. Basically, this meme, the Morbius meme, started to become really big. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's joking about it. It's everywhere. Everyone's laughing about it. It's big, funny, haha, cool. That pressures Sony into re-releasing Morbius in theaters to a pathetic $85,000 box office weekend. That is absurdly pathetic, even for a smaller scale studio, for a movie that had that much money put into it. The internet tricked Sony into thinking anybody gave a shit about that movie, all with ironic memes, and they wasted all their fucking money. That is hilarious. I really hope that Sony ends up selling Venom, Spider-Man, and Morbius, and all the other heroes and characters that they own from Marvel to Disney. I honestly, fuck it. Let the MCU be fully united under Disney. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm sorry. You think Sony's doing a better job? They aren't. They're not. Not with Venom. The MCU would do a better job with Venom. And they do a better job with Morbius, and they do a better job with Spider-Man, obviously. Nah, Disney owns too much, I'm sorry. Nah. I actually like that we're getting closer to all the Marvel characters being in the same shared universe, like they are in the comics, you know? Like they're supposed to be. It's one monopoly I support, but at the same time, I do still support all the characters going public domain. What I would just like to see is for these copyright law and ownership things to stop getting in the way of us being able to see good movies. I want to see cool stories about all these characters being able to work together and live in the same universe, and bullshit law, copyright, monetary stuff is getting in the way of that. And that's what bothers me. Clearly you don't relate to the iconic line, "I'm Morbed to meet you" from your childhood. That's true, yeah. But Zan, without competition, Disney will be a monopoly, and the free market, think of the innovation. We are talking about Marvel characters being united with the rest of the Marvel characters under the same studio, so that they are not split and unable to exist in the same continuity due to stupid fucking contracts. That is all I'm suggesting here, is that stupid fucking contracts don't get in the way of characters that should exist in the same universe not being able to, when they do in the comics. TBH don't care about Marvel anymore? Shove it up your ass, Incub. Why are you talking about it? Anyway, listen. Horrible movie. Oh my god. There's also this really cringy... there's just a lot of very cringy scenes. I really can't... I can't go into detail about how many scenes in Morbius made me cringe, but you'll go in and you'll expect it to just be sort of like a boring, uneventful, just kind of meh movie, and that's what you're expecting, but no. No, it's offensively bad. It will actually make you angry at how bad it is, because the movie is trying not to be bad, but it is, and it's pretending like it's not when like things are supposed to be payoff. So when the payoff moments happen, you're just cringing at how much of a flop they're doing at trying to pay things off. It's they have like, oh god, there's a really cringy... The catchphrase that Milo and Morbius have, that they've had since they were kids, was, "We are the last Spartans. We are one against many." And they keep bringing it up over and over again, like it's this impactful, emotional line that's supposed to make us feel like heartfelt, but it just, every time they say it, it falls fucking flat and makes you go, oh. It's anime BS. The dance scene was horrible. Oh god. How could they not learn from Spider-Man 3? Jesus Christ. They basically did Bully Maguire. They basically had Matt Smith do Bully Maguire. That's the only way I can describe it. It's so fucking cringy. I hate it so much. Good god, it's such a bad movie. Oh, I can't believe I survived it. Alright, listen up. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. It is not a hollow, empty gesture. It does, in fact, make YouTube push my content and my channel a lot more in the algorithm, and it helps the channel a lot more than you realize. Please, just take a half a second to drop that like. It helps you more than you even realize. Subscribe, ring the bell icon, and ring... Did I just say ring the bell icon twice? Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload anything new on my channel. And if you want to see more from me online, you can follow my social media link down below. And if you want to see more of my stuff in general and continue to support me directly, you can donate to me directly by, donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me on YouTube, Twitch, Stream Elements, Streamlabs, or Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good one.